Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's Ceri the Crafter, and welcome to the 1st of July 2024, which marks the start of the hashtag Gely Postcard Play Challenge, which I've organised and set up. And it's my first postcard, and I'm going to keep it reasonably simple because it's the first one I'm doing within this. I'd rather not go more than 15 or 20 minutes long on each postcard because I've got 31 to do in 31 days. All the information you'll need to know is in the description box below, along with links to the launch video plus prep videos. Everything you need to know will be in that box. Okay. I've chosen to do this one because it's the one I sort of talked about the most, the fern. I thought, let's start with that. Now, I've been through the postcards I've got, and these two kind of appeal to me. I like the idea of this on there. However, I like it on there as well because that looks very fall, and I quite like the way that the polka dots are in there. I like this down here. So I think I'm going to put that on there. So this one can go back again. Now, I'm going to be using a tile as my palette. For this, I'm going to use mixed media. Matte gel medium from Liquitex Basics. It's one I use a lot. I mean, I do have other versions, but I've just got a flat brush, not a firm brush, a soft brush. Now, to cut this, and this is gift wrap tissue, you can finger tear it, as you can see, or the quicker way to get accuracy is, this is a water pen. It could just be a paintbrush that's actually dipped in water. And just by running a thin line around this, you don't want to be water sodden. It will just wet the fibers of the tissue and let you pull it away. Now, if you have something, because I did this on purpose, see where I've gone over the edge of the painting there? If you put your finger and thumb on that, when you tear it away, if you're careful, you won't end up damaging it, because sometimes accidents do happen and you do get really close to your image with a water pen and then you end up tearing a piece off. Right. Let's take this out of here. Now, I've used gift wrap tissue paper for this, as you will see in all of the prep videos, purely because it will dissolve into the background and I will be left purely with this image. Another nice thing about this too is because it's tissue, if I was to glue it on the other way round, it would show through equally as well, but I'm sticking with this side. Now, I kind of have an idea. I've got this area here and I've got some texture stuff I want to put in there. And obviously I've got to include a number. I might put a label or something, but I want to do this first of all. Now, gift wrap tissue paper can be a little tricky to use unless you're used to it. I would say use a matte gel medium or a glue that's this sort of consistency, like it's holding its peak, but at the end of the day, it's a soft consistency. If you use a firm gel medium, it's not going to have enough moisture to activate under here. So I'm just going to take this and sort of mark out roughly the perimeters. And once this is stuck on, I'm going to go in and give a coating over the top. So you need to get a reasonable amount on there because remember, you're painting on top of acrylic paint. So acrylic paint is what you're battling. So I'm just trying to pop that on there. Right, now, the trick with this is get a little bit of the matte medium on your finger, on your brush, and work from the center outwards. Work reasonably quickly, but also work gently. Don't go at it like a bull in a china shop, because what you'll end up doing is you will tear the tissue as it dissolves and sticks down. Because the moment the fibers of this tissue, and this will go for if you're using napkin backs as well, as soon as it gets moist, it's likely to tear. Now I'm going to risk it and go over this one more time. And I'm hardly letting the weight of the brush press down on it. Just trying to get an extra layer in. And then as the fibers become more saturated, it will go transparent. or as transparent as it's going to go. If it has a slight halo around it, it's not going to overly worry me. I can deal with that in many different ways. So I'm excited about this challenge. I've never run a challenge before in my life. Lots of other people are excited about it. I'm just excited to see what everyone does with their own version, their own style, their own creativity, all of that. Right, there comes a point where you have to stop. And I'm notorious for not knowing when that is when it comes to this. Now, I'm going to let this dry naturally as I work. It's going to dry reasonably quickly, especially because at the moment it's like we've got a heat wave happening outside the window of my studio. So I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to leave this sit here as well. Will I consider what else I want to do? Now, I did mention I want to use texture. Now, these here, when I gut a book, let's put that over there on the windowsill. When I gut a book, which means taking the pages out of a book, if it's an old book, I usually take the spine to pieces and I take out all of these book binding bits. And actually, that might be the right piece there. And I love these because they're just such unique pieces of texture. As you can see, I keep a box of them and I periodically go through them. No, I don't want that one. I go through them and I'll use them in mixed media projects. That's another nice piece. I think I like the colour of that one better. Let's just have a quick play. Actually, let's not. I think I like the ruggedness of this one. Let's pop you out the way again. So anytime I have any sort of scraps, this is what I do with them from that. Now, I think I'm going to tear that across the bottom. Now I do have the choice of which side to use. I quite like that actually. Right, let's put lid back on this. Oh, I would if I could. Come on, out you come. Now I'm going to just put a bit of vintage photo distressing over the top of this, purely just to give it a little bit of colour, just to bring out that texture. However, when I start brushing it with the gel medium to stick it down, it's likely to shift because it's actually water activated. This ink is. So I have to be a little careful of that. Right, so I'm going to put it on the back of here. I'm going to be reasonably heavy-handed with the matte medium on the back of here because it's textural. I want to make sure that I get in all the little nooks and crannies of the texture before I put it down. Hopefully I'm not out of shot for any of this. I mean, don't forget, guys, if you're on a smart device, you can pinch and pull apart and it'll zoom in for you. Right, so just press this down with an even pressure. I like that because that almost looks like bark from a tree. I just want to trim those little tiny bits off there. So right, it's still drying, so I'm not judging it. But as you can see, look here on the ceramic tile, where I was brushing it, the colour of the ink is starting to move. That's fine. Once this has dried, however, the matte gel medium will have sealed that ink in, so I shouldn't have any more problems. Right, so I do want stuff on here. I want a label on here. I need to put the number on here. Now, I have made a decision with all 31 postcards. I'm not staying in this orientation. Some will be portrait, some will be landscape. I did consider keeping them all the same, but I thought, you know, I want some variety in this. So, let's see. I want some sort of label. And I like a Tracy Fox label. There are other labels out there that anyone can see. That's a number, but I don't mind there being that number when the other number is going to be obvious. Right, I want to try something red. This is a digital, or this is a mixture of digitals from Tracy Fox. Tracy Fox has Love Junk journals on Etsy. I'm not putting a link in. I am absolutely appalling at putting links into Etsy. I think it's because I'm on British Etsy and a lot of the people who click the link are on American Etsy and they don't work, so I don't even bother anymore. I'll tell you, the shop is called Love Jug Journals. The name is Tracy Fox. Search for it. It's just easier for me because I can't get it to work for me. Right, just having a bit of a rummage through. See if there's anything that's... Is that too predictable? I don't think that's too predictable. I think that might be just about it. Right. Also, I'm not going to decide on where I put the numbers. I'm going to put the numbers wherever I see fit. Just going to snip the corners off these, just so the label is more label shaped. I might want to trim that edge down a little bit as well. There you go. Right, now, let's not leave that on there. Come on, off you come. Now, I'm going to have to be a bit careful because this was printed on my inkjet printer. So if I brush over it, which I kind of want to do, it's going to move the ink. It's potentially going to smear it. It's not a huge problem because if that happens, I'll just put another label over the top of it. But I am going to come in, I'm going to put the matte medium on the back of this. So it's already loaded up. Now just make sure it's straight, because looking through an iPad is not the easiest. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick couple of brushes just to seal it in, and that's as much as I'm doing with that label, because any more than that and the things are likely to start moving on me. Okay, I think we're going in the direction I want, so I'm going to keep the first one simple because it's the first one. Right, I don't think I want any more labels on that. I do need to put a number on here. Right, number. Now my gut feeling is thinking I want the number there, but then my artistic side is saying I want the number up there. So let's pull in whatever numbers we've got and see if any of these work for us. Now, let's move that out the way for a second and that out the way. Right, these are the numbers I actually stamped. I could easily put one of those down, but I'm not sure I want it black because I like that that's black. I want something up there, but maybe not black. So if I look at the bigger version, because the ones in here are just the same numbers, but they're smaller. And the one is an orange in here. Now I do quite like it in orange, but I don't want this underneath it. And that's quite a nice one as well. What other options did I have? I gave myself some options. The other thing I've got is these were just printed on my computer. Then I sealed them with gel medium on my gel plate. And then I just basically came in and I put some colour over the top of them just with a transparent acrylic paint. I'm wondering whether one of these is calling to me. I don't want to distract from that because I absolutely love that. But even just a little tiny number 1 dotted somewhere would be enough. I wonder whether I've got any stamped numbers. That would be another thing to look at, because none of those at the moment are really singing to me. Right, I've got this box of stamped numbers. Now these are just numbers. I've used rubber stamps, so I've stamped onto the edges of book pages and things like that. And there's bound to be a 1 in here somewhere. See, that's the sort of colouring I'm looking for, is that. Well, mind you, green wouldn't be bad either. I don't want the number to be dominant. That's probably my main... I think that might get lost. I quite like that green. Let's see if I can tear this. This could be a disaster, guys, because when it's this small, me tearing it is probably not going to be the easiest things to do. Oh, okay. Correct myself. Right. Talk about how small can you make this number. I'm trying to not worry about whether it's completely squared off. I mean, I'm making it small because it suits my purpose. My hands are so big I can't even get hold of it. I would really like to tear down this side, but it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to snip it. Right, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. That's a nice little something. Put a little bit of vintage photo on the edges. Right, how am I going to stick this down? I think I want to use some art glitter glue. This is a brand I'm using. Art glitter is a brand. Just because I know that it's going to go down quickly. I'll make sure that it's the right way up as well. Okay, I'm all right with that. Once that's fully dry, I may just brush over the top of it with this of ink, just to make sure I've taken that starkness off it. Right, I can't dry with it. Well, I'm back. Right, that's now completely dry, which is fine. I still have a slight halo around it, and I'm going to deal with that in a second. So I'm going to come in with my foam, and I've not put any more ink on this, and I'm just going to come over the top of this and just catch that number. I'm coming at it from all different directions, and what that will do is it'll mess it up a little bit, same as the foam stamp. Now, using the same one, if I do a very gentle circular action, any residual brown on here will come off onto there. Just going to get a little bit more because I want to go around the edges. Now, I'm not going to go around the edges of every single postcard I do, but I do quite like the idea of going around this one. I'm wondering whether I want to put any words on here like a saying or that, and I don't think I do. I think I'm going to call that one done. I'm really liking that. So, okay, so that was the first one. That was the first. Oh no, wait, I was going to do this, wasn't I? This is just a micron pen, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to just add a little bit of detail on the sides, just basically almost like some faux stitching. I like to add this to stuff. It just builds a little bit of character. Do I want to sign it? That's something I hadn't considered. I should really sign it, shouldn't I? Right, well, I'm going to just sign it. I'm going to have my signature really small in the corner. There you go. Actually, I've got something there. I need to probably do something up here as well. Okay, I want a little bit of a zigzag across there. And maybe some dots down there. There you go, that's it. This bothers me. Can you see this bit here? It looks like I tore the end of the fern off. So I'm just going to come in with my black pen. And there you go, I've made it look better. So I've just, because it was black paint, I could do that, right? This is permanent, by the way, so I'm quite happy about that. I think we've done it. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. I have. Looking forward to doing the others. Now that I've done the first one, I'm looking forward to doing the others. So that still looks a little bright to me. I want the numbers to be almost hidden with them. There you go, that's better. I'm okay about that. So, guys, that was my first one. So, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until the next one, goodbye now.